Hey, Talofa Lava. Leatawa Dr. John Peterson here with TE2 Edge Sports Cards, coming at you live and direct, as always, from the card table here in Minneapolis, Minnesota. We have got PSA graded reveal, 11 slabs here today, 11 cards that were sent in, and we're calling this one Bride of Frankenstein. Check it out.
TE2 Edge Sports Cards. Get at it.
All right, let's get started. Just want to let folks know I'm still getting over this cold. I've had it for 8 days now, and it is finally working its way through my system. So if I have to clear my throat or cough, which I don't think I'll have to cough, but I might have to clear my throat once or twice, I will try and do so in a discreet manner so you're not annoyed as I get annoyed when I hear people doing the sniffles and the coughing and all that sort of shit when they do their videos. Sometimes you just can't help it, so thanks for your patience with that. A couple things. I'm always looking for collections. Kobe, MJ, LeBron, Steph, anything from the 90s, usually mid-90s to late 90s is preferred. But also I'll take a look at stuff from like 93, 94. Try and stay away from the early 90s stuff. Just too much of it out there. And yeah, you can make a little bit of a profit on some of that stuff. Let's take a look at this order. If you see anything also, if you see anything in this order or in this reveal of an order that you're interested in, you can always leave me a comment and hit me up in my DMs in Instagram or Facebook. Instagram, it is TE2 Edge Sports Cards, so that's really easy to remember because it's the same name as the channel. And on Facebook, it's the same thing. You can also find me on Facebook and Instagram under Leatawa Dr. John Peterson is another easy way to find me. I've got 2 Facebook accounts, 3 actually. One for the beverage company, Ganja, which is the beverage company. But then I've also got one for personal and then one for the TE2 Edge Sports Cards on Facebook and Meta. And then Instagram, I've got a personal Instagram and then the sports cards one. So just hit me up if you're interested. If you're local, we can meet up. You can come to the house. You can take a look at whatever you want. And I'm happy to sell in person. If not, all these cards go on to eBay on Saturday morning early. And I'm hoping to move them all by the end of the day on Sunday. Because I've got some, excuse me. Oh, goodness, how annoying is it? I've got some debt that I got to pay off. Relative to cards that I've sent in. So got to get those PSA orders paid for that are going to be coming down the pike because there's quite a few out there right now. And they should be good. And I'm looking forward to revealing those when they come in. What else? Yeah, I can't really think of too much else. I did a card show last weekend. That was at the Earl Brown Heritage Center in Brooklyn Center. Thought it went really well. Probably the most busy card show I've ever been to. Not the biggest, but the busiest. Richard was with me, my partner, with the cards, and he said, yeah, this is the busiest I've ever seen at JP. So go figure. I sold about $3,000 worth of cards, and not a single card was sold that was over $300. So it was all that kind of $15, $20, $25 up to $300 value cards, priced cards. So anyway, this hobby seems strong to me. I mean, November's supposed to be the month where things dip, and they have dipped a little bit and slowed down, but not very much. Let's take a look at the data here. So Bride of Frankenstein sub, 10 cards at $50 per card is what the cost outlay was on the cards. So $500 in the cards. A couple of those had to be a bit of an estimate. Some of them were spot on, easy to do. Grading fee, I did $45 on this one, so it was $450. Not great. So doubled my costs with the grading fees. Shipping was pretty typical for 10 cards, $50. I had the total outlay at an even $1,000. I had the EV, estimated value, at $2,370. And then I had the estimated profit at $1,060. So that was what I had. And then there's a bonus card that wasn't a part of this sub that I wanted to share at the end of this video as well. All right, that's all I got. Let's go down to the video webcam here. Get the light turned on. Excuse me again. And all right, let's jump in. So the first card was a 1989 Upper Deck Ken Griffey Jr. When I did the Menominee card show back in September, end of September, I bought like 26 packs of Upper Deck from a vendor, from a dealer there. Brought them back to the table. A bunch of us opened them up, including my buddy Eli, Greeley, a couple other guys, my buddy Joe. And believe it or not, we pulled 2 Griffey Jr. rookie cards out of those 26 packs, which I thought was pretty remarkable. So I sent those in. And this is what came back of those. So I had this one graded initially as an 8. And we ended up getting an 8. So I thought it was a solid 8. Wasn't surprised by the grade. I guess you could have made it a case it possibly could have been a 7. Definitely not a 9. Not given the grading standards today for PSA. But yeah, pulled off the 8. Estimated value was 120. I've got the final value at 120. Next one. Same card. Number 1, Upper Deck, Ken Griffey Jr., 1989. Iconic card. A card that everyone is familiar with. And I had it pre-graded also as an 8. And it came back as an 8. So that's pretty good. I thought this one looked a little better than this one. Eye appeal wise. Thought the centering top to bottom and left to right on the one on the left was a little worse. So this was from the Menominee card show. So again, $120 for an 8. Nothing world shattering in terms of value. I bought a small 9-card Jordan lot off of Facebook. This is back in September. Wasn't super pleased with it, but there were a few cards that were worth sending in. And it was a viewer of the program who sold me the cards, believe it or not, off of eBay, totally random. This is a 1997 Upper Deck UD3 MJ3 card number 1. So this is the card that is on the left-hand side of that 3-card panel. I had it pre-graded as an 8. And it came back as an 8. So $80 card, $70, $75 card, not worth a whole lot. This card, the MJ1, the MJ3 one, is the least expensive and most common of the 3 cards in the panel. So did okay on that. Next one is from that same lot off of Facebook. 97 Topps Chrome, Season's Best. I had this pre-graded as an 8. Thought it looked good, but it had some hulking. As you can see, not terrible hulking, but just some fading up at the top part here. And obviously it came back as a 7. So got a 7 on the shooting stars. Believe it or not, this card in a 7 is a $200 card, which isn't too bad, I don't think. This is the chrome version of the card. I prefer the other version, but this one's good too. So yeah, got a 8 on that one. Next card, 96 Topps Season's Best MJ. Also, Season's Best. I think this is the Enfuego from 96. Pre-graded this as an 8. The back looked good. You can see the back is pretty centered. And this one came back as an 8. I thought it had a chance at a 9. It didn't have any print line on it that I could see, which is pretty typical for this card, at least for the ones that I've graded. Usually there's a print line that runs on the border, top to bottom. But still a nice card, and a $230 card in a PSA 8. Another card from that Facebook lot, or not Facebook lot, excuse me. If I've been saying Facebook, I'm not saying that right. It was an eBay lot, actually. Excuse me. This is the 1988 Fleer All-Star. Tough grade. I had this as an 8 for the pre-grade, and it came back as an 8, which, given the centering on the back, I thought was pretty generous. I mean, the card looked clean. Centering on the front isn't as bad as the centering on the back. Go, Charlie. So, yeah, in an 8, this card is a $190 card. So that'll sell pretty quickly, I think. I'm not too worried about getting that to move. Next one is the 1998 Topps Round Table. 98 Topps Round Ball Royalty with the coating on it. I decided not to take the coating off. I predicted this would be a PSA 8. I thought it looked pretty good all the way around. And it came back as an 8. Which, I mean, if you're being honest, if you leave the protective coating on, the chances that you get much more than an 8 are pretty nil. So I thought there was a tiny, tiny bit of hulking potentially on his right bicep, but it's kind of tough to tell. I don't know. Maybe you know better than I do. I only graded this card one other time. So in a PSA 8, this is a $250 card. This came from a lot that I'd picked up on Facebook Marketplace. A guy was selling some completed sets of some inserts. This one happened to be the Metal Max Metal from 95. Kind of a cool set. Pretty valuable card in a PSA 10. I didn't think it was going to 10. This corner up here. A couple other spots were a little bit iffy. But I did think it was going to be an 8, and it came back as an 8. So that was good. Pretty happy with that. It's a $200 card in a PSA 8. I'm sorry, it's maximum metal. So I call it max metal, but it's maximum metal. Yeah, not bad. We'll take it. An 8 in that card is not bad at all. Okay, the next card. For those of you that watch the channel consistently, this card should look familiar. It is one of the last remaining cards from the South Dakota collection. It is a 1997 finest gold embossed numbered card to 74, and it is the Dominique Wilkins in a San Antonio Spurs uniform. So this card is really a tough pull if you're familiar with the 97 Topps finest product. I mean, this is essentially an atomic refractor, and it's embossed, and it's gold, and it's rare. And I picked it up for 75 cents, which I thought was incredible when I found it. I figured it would be a pretty valuable card. The first time that I sent it in, it came back as a 5. I cracked it out of this holder. I figured, let me give it another shot. I think it can get at least a 6. Probably not a 7, but I think it was at least a 6. And in these cards, going from a 5 to a 6 or even a 7, it's pretty significant. I think the card in a 5 is about a $350 card. In a higher grade. Obviously more, these cards in 8s go up for $950, $1,000, $1,200, depending on the player. All right, so what did we do on this one? Came back as an 8, folks. Pretty happy about that. Look at that. What a cool card. Of one of the greatest scorers of all time that the NBA has seen. So, I was kind of surprised it got an 8, but you know what? I'll take it. And we're not going to complain about going from a 5 to an 8. That just tells you that there's a high level of variability with these orders and the grades that the cards get. I think it's a $1,000 card. Probably would sell for close to 800 to 900, but with the right buyer in mind, I think it's close to $1,000. There was one last card that did not grade. This is the second time I've tried to send this card in. Min size requirement, just they're not going to grade it. So going to have to figure out what I want to do with it. I thought it was a nice looking card. I thought it was a 9, but they're not going to grade it. And usually if they don't grade it after 2 times, I give up unless it's a really big card. All right, so that's the order. What are the stats or the data, whatever you want to call it? Okay, so the total outlay I said was 1,000. I had the estimated profit at 1,060. Estimated value was at 2,370. The final value came in at $2,390. I was off by $20, which isn't bad at all. And the final profit was $2,080, also off by $20. Outlay minus 1,000. Final profit I have at $1,080. So I was off by $20, which I think is really good. Obviously, it's good. I mean, I got 8 of the 9 graded cards correctly pre-graded. So overall, great. Couldn't be happier with this. Yeah, you really can't expect much more from an order like this than $1,000 profit, $1,100 profit. So feeling pretty good about that. And then the last card that I wanted to share a while ago, this is old news for some of you that know me and I communicate with on a weekly basis, but for a lot of viewers, this is probably new information. I spent some money and picked up some 2022 Bowman Inception, which is a product that I've always been a fan of. I didn't buy any back in 23, but what I figured I'd do is pick up some of the product and maybe chase a little Wemby auto action. For those that are familiar, the 2022 Bowman product are the first autos of Wemby, also the first autos of Caitlin Clark too. So I ended up buying a few cases, and I was going through one of the cases during Game 7 of the World Series. And as you know, Bowman is, let's see here, the blues are 99, the fuchsia is 75, the gold is to 50. There's 2 variations, V1 and V2. The orange is 25. The black is 10. The reds are 5. And the foil fractors are 1. Never pulled a foil fractor. But I have pulled some golds, and I have pulled some orange, and I have pulled some black, and I have pulled some red, along with blue and fuchsia and the green, which is numbered, I think, like 199 or something like that. So as I was ripping through one of the boxes in one of the cases, I realized that I'd come across a red. And those are really rare. I mean, I've only pulled, I think, 2 of the ones that I've ripped open. And as I was moving down the card, I realized it was a Caitlin Clark, and it was an auto. So it was a Caitlin Clark red 2022 Bowman Inception autographed card. Sent it in, looked at it. I thought it was really good. Sent it in Super Express. So spent about $400 getting it graded. I figured, why not? This is probably a $3,000 card raw, $4,000 card raw. And just waited for about 6 business days, and it came back. And I wanted to share with you the grade. I had the auto graded, and I had the card graded. And this is what I got. A 10-10. So 10 on the card grade and 10 on the auto, which I was obviously over the moon about. So yeah, feeling super blessed and fortunate by this gift. Yeah, it's probably, if not the most valuable card that I now own, one of the most valuable cards that I own. Value, I would say right now, 8, 9, 10, somewhere in there. K. But for the right collector, probably more. And when she gets back into the swing of things in the spring and the WNBA gets started, and I hope she continues to play well and stays healthy. That's the big question mark. I just see this car going up and up and up. So super happy about that. Wanted to share this with everyone. And yeah, Caitlin Clark, 2022 Bowman Inception, autograph red foil, numbered to 5, 1010. All right, if you're interested in any of these cards, feel free to reach out. You can always reach out to me via email, rjp7227@yahoo.com. Prefer to not give out my phone number, but if you need my phone number, just send me a DM to my Instagram, my Facebook, and we can talk. And I've got numerous orders out with PSA right now. I think I've lost track how many. There's orders of 6 cards, 1 card, 10 cards, 30 cards, 40 cards. Been trying to really get a lot of grading done just to keep the inventory moving. You know, these cards sell so fast that it's hard to keep up with the inventory, especially with the slow turnaround times with PSA. That being said, I'm thankful for PSA. I'm thankful for Fanatics. And mostly I'm thankful for you all. Thanks for watching. You have a blessed evening. Peace out. One love.